Hey guys, welcome back to Runs and Acceleration. We're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit more about the series that India has had with West Indies, the series India just had with Sri Lanka, the T20 series. I don't know, Ruhan, what's your initial thoughts on this? Yeah,
Yeah, so I think we should really focus on the T20 series. Reason being, the T20 series happened right after the IPL auctions. So
yep,
some of the performances from the ODI series from the West Indies really attracted attention, and even in recent times. So there's a hitter from West Indies. I mean, every batsman from West Indies is a hitter,
yeah,
but Rovman Powell, he scored a century against England in one of their home series, and he was picked up for a good 2.8 crores. Then you had Romario Shepherd go for 7.75, Odean Smith, who just played that series,
yeah,
and he pretty much he caused a lot of trouble to Virat Kohli
yep,
and a couple of other Indian guys. So he bagged 6 crores as well. Jason Holder, the most underrated player
mhm,
according to Akash,
yep,
his favorite, one of my favorite players,
yep, very true.
8.75 crores, one of the great all rounders, finally getting his due at Lucknow.
Hmm.
Possibly even if KL Rahul needs a possible help in terms of captaincy or at least as a vice captain, I think.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it's for me, the defeat is something that I think that as much as there's a lot of talent in West Indies cricket, I still think there's a lot of way to go for them.
Right.
Nowhere near kind of past West Indies teams, but there is, I think, some kind of hope for them. And you know, I'm I'm personally like I don't know about this person. I don't know what your thoughts about this, but personally for me, I've noticed with West Indies in like last kind of few times I've really seen them play, last few series, is that actually Pollard as captain has not been the best for them. And sometimes actually it's been kind of here
Not
in,
really.
here out, like a little bit inconsistent. And that's what I'm kind of questioning is because I see this as like an opportunity for them, but at the same time it's just kind of not really like there personally. But and then when you see like Pollard is who's like sometimes if he has to step in for captaincy like Mumbai or something like that, he's
He
running
very
with
different.
yeah, very, very tight ship, super aggressive fields, nice and everything
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. What do you think's going on? Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting point and kind of links to both the teams we've been playing against
Yeah.
in this last home season, which is both the teams, Sri Lanka and West Indies, have had a lot of issues in the last few years with their boats. There's been corruption talks. There's more importantly just these players are not getting a lot of pay. So
Yep.
international duties for them are almost secondary at this point, not because they're not motivated and patriotic towards serving their countries,
Yep.
but because they also need to make a career out of it. So if they're getting better opportunities playing leagues, you see West Indies players play in every single league, even if
Mhm.
they don't want to play for the national team.
Yep.
Pollard also, till the last few years, was not in the team. You see, Bravo, before his retirement, was in and out. Chris Gale has been in and out for a long time. Russell as well. So you never even know what the team is going to be.
Exactly.
Russell wasn't, if I'm not wrong, Russell wasn't in the T20
Wasn't
series
even
against
picked.
India.
Yeah, I don't think it was
Yeah,
picked.
wasn't even picked. It wasn't an injury thing. So very inconsistent in terms of their squads. And I think when you, it's just, it's not about inconsistency. It's about how these squads are picked. There's
Yeah.
no a surety to these players that they'll get a chance to play. India, on the other hand, is entirely different. So India over the last 12 games has played approximately 30 different players in the Indian cricket team.
Yep.
And we've won all 12 games.
Hmm.
So you might say there's an inconsistency in terms of lineup, but that's not inconsistency. That's giving players assurance that everyone will get a chance and we
Yep.
rotate the players, similar to how England does it.
Yep.
Whereas for West Indies, it's about they don't even know if they'll get to play ever.
Hmm.
They can be sacked from the team for any reason.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the reasons you're seeing this inconsistency. Similarly with Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka also had this problem. I think India won 3-0 against Sri Lanka, which is great. But you got to realize they didn't have their main spinner Hasaranga. He tested positive for COVID again.
Yep.
They had a few COVID cases. So that's also an issue right
Yep.
now.
I think the one thing with especially India, you kind of mentioned this a little bit about India's selections, is I think we're finally seeing after a long time proper Indian selection, in my opinion, especially with the shorter format. I think there's a big thing of you must pick guys like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, boom. Like there's certain core that you have to be picking all the
Yeah.
time. And I feel like that is sometimes a success, but actually can also lead to a lot of downfalls for us, especially when it comes to ICC tournaments. I feel that because we go with a certain template that we think works on paper, but really it doesn't at the end of the day. And I think that's why, when I see the T20 squads now, we're having opening with say Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, or Rohit Sharma, or Sanju Samson, something like that. Nice, very nice, aggressive combo of and pretty destructive opening pair regardless. And then at three, in my opinion, Shreyas Iyer, one of got player of the series player of the series in this
He didn't get out the
Sri
entire series.
Lanka.
Three scores of 60 and 70 without getting out.
Exactly, just someone who's coming out there playing exactly his role to a T. And
Yeah.
I don't mean like to like be like be someone like a sour be like kind of put a diss on Virat or anything like that, but I felt that he would be able to do that because he's got so much pressure on him. First of all, he's not in form one bit, in my opinion, and there's like just a lot of inconsistency in his game and everything like that. Because he's old, he's getting like he got rid of the captaincy, a lot of moving parts, that are going on. So not only that, I just feel that with Shreyas at three, and then at four you can play someone like a very solid four at Surya, or Surya at three, Shreyas at four. It kind of shows that there's a dynamic lineup. I think Venkatesh Iyer coming at six is a really really good option for us because he kind of hits nice lower order runs, and if we need an opener, he's there. So it's a good team, and I finally feel that we're rewarding peers like someone like Deepak Huda, for example, finally getting selected. I feel like he's someone who is very unsung, pretty underrated in many respects, and it's just like an example like that of finally we're giving people the opportunities that really do deserve them instead of going just to a template of that we have to be playing these kind of players. Yeah.
I think I agree with you because it finally feels like we're playing players based on merit rather than their names.
Yep.
Because and I think that's why the losses against Pakistan and New Zealand, as hard as they were, when put us out of the tournament early, I think
Yep.
that was a good wake up call because then we started playing our game naturally.
Yep.
We had some pretty big wins. We didn't qualify, but it was a wake up call that, you know what, the game has moved on. And it's very much like the scenario it was in 2007 when we had a very embarrassing ODI World Cup and then the first T20 World Cup came up and they decided that, Sachin and all won't be playing.
Yep.
They were all there. Sachin was there, Ganguly was there, Rahul Dravid, Lakshman, they were all playing at that time, Kumble as well. They
Yep.
hadn't retired. But they decided that these players would not play. Some of them even decided they did not want to go. They
Yep.
said, send a younger team in who plays this squad better. I think it's that kind of scenario again. Not to call Virat old. He has the strike rate, everything. Yes, he can do that. And he got a 50 in the West Indies T20s as well. But he gets the 50s and 40 balls today
Yep.
because against the spinners with age, it's not that he's unfit or anything. It's just, it happened with Virendra Sehwag. The hand-eye coordination with age becomes slower. Reflexes become a little bit slower. And Virat has practiced and stretched his body and most importantly, his eyes as a batsman
Yep.
for more than any other batsman just because of the amount of games he's had to play.
Exactly.
So his body and his reflexes can start to tire out because just like your body can reach to exhaustion, any part of that body can, including the
Very
eyes.
true.
And that's what I'm seeing because again, spin, no matter ODIs, test matches, once the spinners come on, he's always having the same thing. His leg
Exactly.
lances have edges. He's always scored at short cover, which used to be his bread and butter shot.
Yep.
So it's slowing down his rate. And then you have players who are younger, who have more of a hunger to prove themselves right now. And they don't have this pressure of captaincy. They haven't had these recent controversies. And I don't blame Virat for whatever happened with the captaincy. I think there was a lot of people involved, a lot of stakeholders. So
Yeah.
no fault of his. But you kind of have to realize where your speciality is at this
Exactly.
point, test matches and ODIs.
Yep.
Even Rohit Sharma, I do not see as being a very long term captain. Yes, he's very successful, one of my favorite players. But if I was to look at it in the long term, I think it's better if we go in with a
Well,
squad
yeah,
of
I exactly. I think with like you're saying, like I think Rohit Sharma he's not our future, and very rightfully
he's
so.
an interim
Yeah,
captain.
he's our interim captain essentially, and I think that's and I think I even heard someone in the BCCI actually like almost use something like that, like, oh yeah, Rohit is grooming the next captain, essentially like that, which is the right mentality to be taken because right now, we took a beating in the T20 tournament. Let's be honest, okay, we were beyond horrible in my opinion in some of the games, okay, and it's time to get that kind of refresh and get some new thinking, have that kind of thing. And Rohit has proven a lot of results and everything like that, so there's kind of that safety system in a way with when you go with Rohit.
Yeah.
I think it's also really important to mention, we talked about some of the batsmen, but now some of the bowlers, you know someone like Yuzvendra Chahal coming back to form, picking up the wickets, delivering. Prasid Krishna, player of the series for the ODI against West Indies. Great performance. Someone like who else? I'm just like give me another bowler.
All of them, right? Bishnoi made a very good debut.
Yeah, Bishnoi made it.
Avesh and Harshal Patel,
Oh
they've
yeah,
gone for a few runs in a few games, but whenever they've got the chance, they're getting the wickets. So, it's, yeah. So I think as a last point, I'd just say that we are finally playing a team based on the best 11.
yep,
And that 11 no longer has to have a Hardik Pandya as the designated hitter. It's more like because he can't bowl anymore as well.
yep,
So we were playing, we were trying to go for all these combinations. Jadeja has come back and oh my god, in the series against Sri Lanka,
yeah,
he's just gone berserk.
yep,
He's the best fielder in the world still. He is one of the fastest runners. His batting has gone up astronomically.
hmm,
Um, Bowling is still amazing. He finishes up his overs, puts that pressure on the batsman. He's there as a guide to the other spinners.
yep,
And now that we have him, we can play Deepak Huda and Venkatesh Iyer. You have 6 to 7 bowling options.
yep. Very true.
You just now finally, after years, have that flexibility like we used to have when Yuvraj and
Yeah.
Sehwag were there. That there's bowlers there, there's also batsmen there, and you can play around a bit. You can play the situation.
Finally, we have a middle order. Yay!
Exactly. So I think, yeah, on that celebration,
Yeah.
we'll end this episode and see you guys again soon. Bye
Yep.
bye.
Bye.